Hey everybody. Okay, so let me know right away if there's any lag or whatever. The music was atrocious there, and I don't know if there's like I say, a hiccup or lag. Sometimes when I load LiveStream's Procaster, I guess that's what it's called, in order to record the screen, um, the chat doesn't work. So right now in a separate browser, I have the stream up as well, just so that I can chat, which is actually pretty ridiculous. So, what I suggest is just let me know throughout this if it continually gets choppy or chuggy, or if you guys can't hear what I'm saying, whatever. As we start drawing, as this party gets crazy, just let me know and we'll get it started. This is another reason why I'm actually pretty excited to look into moving the show over to Google for the Google Hangouts. My buddy Will Robson, we have that semi occasional podcast going on right now. Happy Sketch Time. I think we got 2 episodes up there. You guys check that out. That's on YouTube as well. But anyway, how you guys been? Sorry for missing last week. I was actually really under the weather. So I wasn't a soldier. I'm sorry. I couldn't go through it. I figured it would be easier just to skip the week, even though that's probably not the best. That way you guys wouldn't hear me sniffling, pouting, all that stuff. But welcome to the live stream, everybody. This show here is for you guys. It's from now until 9 p.m. Eastern Time, so a whole hour. Like I say, the show is for you guys and girls. So if you guys have any comments or questions regarding art, drawing tips, if you'd like me to critique something, anything that I might be able to help you with, I'll do my best to do that. And just feel free to add it into the chat. Just I would request that you ask the question in all capitals, or at least ask question in capitals. That way it's a little easier for me to see it. And until then, what I'll be working on, I'm trying to find like a manga paper or something. Should probably just stick with what we're doing. What I'll be doing in the meantime is just working on some Guildborn stuff, actually. I figured today, at least for this hour in between helping you guys out, if you guys need any help at all, is just working on my own project. You guys have heard me talk about this one for a while now, I would think. Hopefully I can overwrite that. Okay. And basically, it's just going to either be a webcomic or it's going to be something that I'll pitch to editors. It's kind of like just a relaxing thing that I get to do. It's a fantasy book. I'm going into it kind of blind. It's probably not the most efficient or proper way to do a book, comic book in any way, which is have a script ready. All I'm kind of going in there is with some rough character designs and a general idea of where the script is going. You guys will probably hear me talk about Will Robson quite a bit. But he has a webcomic. I believe it's on hiatus right now. I'm not sure if he plans to get back to it or not. Called Jed, and it's Jed. I believe it's still up. And like I say, I know he's been taking a break for a little while now. And it was exactly what I'm sort of thinking of doing with Guildborn here, where it's, I'm not looking to write the next coming of Christ here. I just want something that's for fun. I don't think I'll necessarily show it to editors or anybody like that. It's just again for me, and I know that my brain doesn't have to think too much when working on that project. So it's a good thing. And they're like these chibi characters, these cute little chibi characters. What I wanted to do with the book was have these cute little characters fighting like monsters, and the monsters, who doesn't like to draw monsters? But I wanted them to fight these monsters that would look pretty detailed. That's where I would kind of go into what you guys probably, look at my stuff and follow me for, I suppose. That comic book style, overly rendered, shadowed, all that stuff. Because it is fun to do that from time to time. I thought it'd be a nice little change of pace. So yeah, I really haven't come up with the main character for the story yet. Not sure which route to go on that. And what's actually really fun to think about, I don't know if any of you guys in here are role players, like Dungeons and Dragons. If you like playing just fantasy games, Final Fantasy, role-playing games on, or I was gonna say mobile, on just fantasy role-playing games like video games, that kind of stuff, where you come up with like the character classes and stuff. And that's what I'm trying to think about when I do this stuff. I want the party to kind of be like a balance, if you're playing World of Warcraft, and you know how you got to go into your raids and stuff and your dungeons with your tank, your healer, your DPS, which would be your mages and stuff like that. Kind of thinking of it like that, just not too cemented in anything. Maybe this guy's like a magician or something. Got like 50 cloaks on. Yeah, Skyrim. Skyrim's more of a single player, right? Well, not kind of. It is a single player game. Let me just turn this off here. You guys probably don't want to hear all this. There we go. Oops. It's been a little while since I've drawn these characters. So, like I say, what I'm just going to work on tonight is just doing a bunch of these poses. Maybe we'll pick one and ink her up. I like to think of like a theme or something before going in there. That's why I feel like right now my mind's just kind of doing its own thing. So I can get something happening here. So let's think of like some character design kind of stuff here. So I know the main character. I don't know if I want to go the traditional route, the farm boy, the orphan, all that kind of stuff, or maybe go the more manga-esque route. I find a lot of manga and animes, they have their main characters are kind of opposite of Western characters in a lot of ways, just from what I found. And I'm sure I'm wrong on this, but with Western characters, it seems like they're always like a farmer, a peasant, an orphan, and they're very passive, or they're very nice. They're just good people. And then trouble comes knocking on their door. And then I look at a lot of anime and stuff where it's, they are probably orphans and all that stuff, but they're very like go-getter kind of thing, or they're very mischievous. They're always getting in trouble. There's two routes there. I'm not sure which way I want to go. And this is what kind of happens when you want to go into it without a script. So it's always fun just opening up the sketchbook here and just designing, even like stupid little stuff like this, like little creatures that might just live in the world. Like I don't know what are these? Are these all a bunch of boobs? What is this? Are those all legs? Who knows? Ian is asking, did you find it easier to finish work on the Worlds in Peril board game compared to working on the standard? Was there anything... Okay, actually that's a really good question. So what Ian's asking is, which should I feel easier to work on? The standard, which is the 6-issue miniseries, the comic book that you guys have probably seen since the beginning of my channel that I've been working on, that comic book, or the latest stuff, Worlds in Peril, which is a tabletop role-playing game. And you guys will get some more information on that soon. I saw a little teaser trailer, which was pretty fun. But which one was it easier? Is that what you're saying? Easier to finish? The role-playing stuff, the Worlds in Peril, I thought was much easier. Only because with comics, you're not just drawing one character, you're drawing a whole bunch of stuff. There's scenes you got to worry about, dialogue, acting, and to a degree, that's all present in the concept stuff. But with that project, all at this point anyway, all I was concerned with and all that I was commissioned to do was pinups and some character design. So just my job to do the best that I could to make it interesting for you guys or anybody else that's interested in role-playing games, tabletop role-playing games, to make it look somewhat interesting that you might be interested in just to look at it further, which, you know, gives us a chance that you guys might dig it and buy it kind of thing, right? Whereas with the standard, it's a long story. It's 6 issues, right? A trade paperback size, and there's more going on there. I've spent many years actually, more than I should have. That's for sure. With those characters and the stories and stuff, and just seeing where they go, and it's different. But yeah, Worlds in Peril, that kind of stuff is definitely easier. I'm not gonna say which one's better. It's just, you know, it's different. All right. So I'm just kind of jumping around here. Let's see if we can design the main character here, or something that we could go somewhere. Just trying to think. I want to do the farm boy stuff. I kind of like the idea of just like a younger person. I don't know why they have to be younger. Just it seems like there's more time for them to actually achieve something. But they just want to go on adventures, you know. The story's called Guildborn. I still need to worry about the twist in there, like why it's called Guildborn. The idea that I've been thinking about is the main character eventually, or through as they go, he just creates a guild of friends kind of thing, and they go on silly little adventures and stuff. But I think the first story that I wanted to do, the first comic, was this character with his team. They go and they stop, just like in most role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons, Western RPGs especially. You always have to go fight rats. And I wanted to try to do that for the first little story. And there's a king rat, like usual. So where would this guy be? He's very adventurous. I do prefer Japanese role playing games, that kind of stuff. So wild hair is always fun. I'll worry about that soon. Nah, do we give them buck teeth? It's funny. As soon as you give somebody buck teeth, all of a sudden they look less heroic for some reason. They just have this look to them like that can't be the hero, or that kid's a punk, you know. Let's just roll with it, see how it goes. Maybe we can make them look cute. Get some fan appeal that way. Do the whole freckle action. Big ol' afro. It's tough because like when you're worrying about, I don't know about you guys, I'm just kind of venting here as we go. Main characters, like I'm just already thinking of like potential covers. You know, like this character's got to be on a cover, at least for the first one. And you got to have a look to them that makes you want to pick it up as something interesting. You know. You know, I don't know. I like Vikings. Maybe he's like a young man and now he's finally of age and he can start his journey by him and a bunch of his friends or whatever got to go take out like a frost rats or something. Beards are cool. Maybe we'll give him like a little beard, a little more serious. Um, yeah, I find design definitely helps with comic book stuff. Whether it's a composition or just telling a story through your characters, absolutely. It's very focused on storytelling, right? So whatever you can use to tell the story or help tell that story, I think is pretty good. Okay, so what do we got here? I'm gonna give him a little bit of fluff down underneath his lip. Still don't know about the eyes on these characters. If I want the black ones or um, if I want actual pupils and stuff. Make his hair slip back. Stick his chest out like a hero. Just trying to figure out the body, the language and stuff that the character would have. You know, like try to portray some confidence here. Um, don't really want the hand on the hip. Maybe we could put it somewhere else, like he's got a weapon in front of him. Yeah, I kind of like that. All right, let's just get some quick perspective going here. Whoops. Um, have you checked out Scotty Young's work? He has some great illustrations, more the Americanized chibi style. Yeah, I've definitely looked at his work. I remember looking at his stuff when he was doing Human Torch. I don't know if you guys remember that stuff. That was pretty cool. So I'm just gonna give him some like little extra hair. And okay, so let me just separate this guy because he's getting too close to the other kid we were drawing here. Something that I bring up all the time that I've heard from other concept artists is always trying to find like a rhythm in like patterns in the design that you're going with. So for example, just by adding these little like head things at the top, I need to remember that throughout. So if that means he's getting a shoulder pad, but it has like a little bit of like parts popping out like that, that's it's a little bit different, but it adds some rhythm, things that flow a little bit together. So what could this character have? Swords, maces are always cool. And, oh man, maybe what if the main characters? Everybody likes to roll paladins. Maybe he's a paladin. But we'll give him a sweet shield. Actually, we could design a shield right now. Okay. So we're going to design a shield. Let's go with that theme. I always like having faces on there. That's one thing I learned from looking at Joe Madureira's work. He always adds faces on things, and it just has this really cool look to it. A thick brown. Maybe this is like their winter god. What else would he have? And this is the fun that I get out of this stuff, is starting to come up with a story behind this kind of stuff. You know, like, okay, so now we got a frost god, and he's a paladin. A lot of frozen stuff, right? A lot of solid stuff. So he should be solid. He should be immobile. He can penetrate cold, kind of thing, right? That's where he's grown up. So there's a lot of warmth that comes from that, character-wise, that I'm digging from this. So a lot of symbolism with this sort of frost god that they worship, maybe. These people in the north. Again, just trying to design a quick shield. And I like the Spartan thing. Don't they have like a thing over in the cut open in the side for blocking a hit? Alright, let's see if we can bring something from him besides his little mustache. He's got these little hair things. Maybe we can incorporate that. They actually turn them into spikes or something. The spikes, one thing to always remember too is like symbolism. Spikes and sharp things usually represent danger, things you don't want to be around. So I'm just going to soften the tips up them here. Soft and round are generally preferred by people. Okay, I'm getting a little too crazy here with the shield. So maybe that's the shield there, and we'll incorporate that up there somehow. Question from Dan is, how old is too old to become an artist? I'm turning 20 in 2 months, and I haven't done much with my life since graduation. It's kind of sad because I finished in the top 5 in art class, and the bills are getting the best of me. Well, hey Michael, thanks for coming back in, man. To get back to your question, Dan, I'm not sure if Will's in the chat. Doesn't look like it, but Will, and I apologize, I always get his age wrong. He's 23, 24, around there, and he just got back into drawing last year, seriously into drawing last year, and he's in a situation where he's very fortunate to be able to draw full time right now, which he's exploded in creativity and quality as well. So I think I honestly don't believe that there's like an age to stop, or to stop getting better, or that all of a sudden if you reach this certain age you're done. There's different avenues that you could go down that a lot of people get mixed up with, and I'm putting in air quotes here. You've made it as an artist or a comic book artist, and most of that comes in this Western ideology with you haven't made it unless you work for Marvel or DC, right? And I'm not going to pinpoint and point fingers and say which side's right on this. It's just your goals and what you want. Like, what do you want? Do you just want to do your own comic books and have people buy them? Do you want to have a YouTube show? Do you want to just go to conventions and draw for people? Do you want to draw the Hulk? Do you want to draw Batman? Do you want to work for Image doing a really cool detective story? You know, stuff like that. As long as you got a clear goal, honestly, all you can do is work. And there is no secret tech on getting better faster. It's honestly just putting in the work. And I wish there was like another avenue or road that I could tell you to go down. Just keep asking questions, keep looking for questions, and keep working. And eventually it's going to happen. And what does that mean? Eventually, what is that's going to happen? To say you'll work at Marvel, let's just say, I'm just using that for an example. To say that if you keep working, eventually you work at Marvel, I don't know if I believe that. I think it's a nice goal, but it shouldn't be the only reason why you're doing what you're doing, right? Have some smaller term goals, right? Maybe it's just you want to make your own comic, that kind of stuff. Make those achievable things, and you should be able to hit them. But no, I don't. I honestly don't think it's up to you if you want to be an artist or not. And to me, one of the greatest cruelties that happens all the time is that people give up being artists. You get caught up in hanging out with friends or, and having a social life. But they're all little things that you gotta decide if it's right for you. And if you're lucky, you'll have a support group behind you, a girlfriend, a wife, a family, that kind of stuff. But in your case, where you're saying the bills are getting the best of you, I hear you, man. If you got a day job you got to go to, I get it, man. You just got to do what you got to do. Which there was something else that wasn't as cut and dry as that. Ian is saying, so far it sounds like you're kind of parodying. I can't even pronounce that. Parroting RPGs. Perhaps that's your essence of the story. How's your comedic writing? That's what I'm doing. I love role playing games, and I just want to draw a story like that. As for comedy, I'm not looking to make a funny story, and I'm not looking to make a dramatic story. I'm just looking to have fun. And it's kind of just an experiment in a way for my brain to do its thing. Who knows how long this will last? I'm just kind of getting a ticket for the ride. Alright, so this guy's getting way too ripped. So we're going to have to tone that down here. There's no reason for me to be that ripped. Should have some tone, but no shredding of the muscle here. Put some armor on him. There we go. What's that? I'm 29 and I left art and comics about, I don't know, 5 times. I'm 31 myself, and a lot of people would say I haven't made it because I haven't worked for the big two. But there's something fun about just doing this, and unfortunately, it's getting to the point. I guess unfortunately, yes, this is some Guildborn, just fun time for this hour. But yeah, there's some. I don't even know. Like I was talking to Will actually yesterday, and I don't think I've really tried that hard to try to get work with Marvel and DC. So that's how I'm not sure if it's possible. But comics have just always been fun, and where I was going with that, where it's getting bad, is that I've been taking on too many projects, and what happens is that I get overloaded with work, and the day job kicks in too, right? So now you're working your day job plus these 2 other comic book jobs, and now that's like, you know, almost 2.5, 3 full-time jobs, and your sleep's getting affected. And it's been like that for me for like a while now, and I'm just getting sick of it. So that's why once the standard's done, outside of the role-playing book, I don't really have any projects to do, which is exciting. It's very exciting. That's why something like this is probably going to take its place. See where it goes. Have some fun. Alright, so what we're going to do with this shield... Okay, so his shield should be here, and then the weapon in the other hand. But that's okay. We're going to flip it. Flip horizontal. I'm going to scale her down. Oops. Actually, yeah, that's okay. We'll get the perspective already. But this is where I'm getting a kick out of doing this stuff, right? Where it's so we just sat down, kind of came up with whether it's a good idea or good script, good story, who knows, of this guy who wants to, you know, finally be a man, go out and do some adventuring, and we came up with this whole background and stuff for him, the ice god, the paladin stuff, all that cool stuff, and that's just one quick story, right? We just did this very fast. So how many more stories can we do? I don't know. I just get a kick out of doing this kind of stuff. A producer? Sorry for the hiccups in this, guys. Like I say, I'm going to start moving stuff over to Google. I think at least give a couple tries that way. Actually, what I'm going to do is this Friday. We'll say this Friday, same time, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to do a Google Hangout. See how it works. So, if you guys are following me on Facebook, awesome. Follow my art page. If you don't know any of those things, just go to my website, jonathanrector.com. Click Facebook. It should take you to my fan page, not my actual page. And Twitter as well. I'll post on there just to remind you guys. And if you guys wouldn't mind showing up, hopefully the kinks won't be too brutal. We can clean some of this garbage up. Sitting down to actually draw is the hardest part. Well, no, actually, well, that's one of the hardest parts. The other hardest part is staying focused throughout. At least in my case, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm rambling here. Okay, so we got this guy. That's cool. So we're going to make a new layer above him. Whoops, nope, clicky, clicky, that layer. And we're going to go to red, just because that's the color I like. And we're going to start doing some costume design on him. So remember, just a younger guy, even though he looks ripped. We're going to fix all that. And just thinking of a simple costume here. So if he's in the winter up in the north stuff, he's probably got furs on. So let's gesture in where maybe it goes over his shoulder. Some kind of pelt. But thinking in like traditional RPG fashion, it can't be like extravagant like this because that's not until he's played the game long enough and he opens the chests and gets some real sweet stuff. Here, let's just turn it this way too. So we've got some pelt action. What other stuff could they have? Maybe goggles. I don't like that. Earmuffs. Let's go do here. A codpiece. All right, he's got a codpiece. Might be hidden by his massive mace here. Which kind of looks like a bell, which is ridiculous. Needs to be solid here. You know what? Actually, we're going to make it like a square, like a hammer, I guess. The hammer would probably make more sense. Or an ice pick or something. Yeah, I'll do that. We'll make that. You guys can't really see. It's a hot mess here. And at the end, just got a point to it. Give him a little sash spot so he can put his mace in there. And we'll put a little, like, you know, cheesy runes on it. Maybe just got it enchanted for his first adventure. But remember what I said earlier? We need to get this action back in here. We need to get these little funky hair pieces. We need to get these little, like, spiky parts on there. Just to get some balance going here. To get some big old snowshoes. Like Eskimo boots. Give him some wraps. What can we need something here. Here we go. Okay, so we're gonna give him a necklace too. Necklace will have all those designs on it like that. We need something for his face. What else? Paladin's got helmets. Maybe we can give him like a little. What if we can make all this part of his helmet? I guess we're kind of getting somewhere with this guy. Hey, Grail Mix? Am I pronouncing that right? I always have to apologize because I can never pronounce people's names. Sorry. I've been doing webcomics for a few years, but I'm still really new to it. Any tips on how to accurately draw the same character from different perspectives? I have an issue with consistency. I think I still struggle with that. I think the easiest way is outside of just draw more, which is, it's kind of like when you're sick. Everybody's like, drink plenty of fluids and get lots of sleep. Usually it works, right? But it takes time. There's pills and stuff, right? So in this case, just draw more. That's like for advice for everything. Perspective also. Just draw. But to answer your question, I usually look at what am I trying to say here? What's the word? I don't want to say keystones, but like a specific detail in that character. There's reasons why, and I'm going to use superheroes just for the sake of this argument because it's easier. There's a reason why Superman always has the S in his hair. There's a reason why a lot of heroes, right, they have this chin that shoots out just massive. The standard that I draw, he's an old man, which, if you start adding wrinkles, all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, that's the standard. But I also give him a butt chin. A lot of people have that, but he's the only character in the book with a butt chin. So even if I draw, and if you actually look at in my comic book work too, like characters are jumping off model all the time. And it is something that I'm working on as well. But try to think of keystones like that and just practice drawing your character over and over again. There's still certain characters I don't like drawing, Superman. But let's say this for example, this guy. I want to draw a bunch of different things with him. The only thing I would recommend is maybe do like an old animation secret, like those people do, is have like the model sheet, and it sounds boring as F. But let's just say this is a character we go with, this guy right here, whatever his name is. What I would probably do is grab a sketchbook and a pen and a pencil. And it could be a regular Bic pen, whatever. Just get a light pencil as best as you can. And just start drawing poses, like getting the head looking up. Maybe he's got an arm up like he's scared. Maybe instead he's pointing at something, or he's really angry. And just draw loose stuff like that, but kind of keep the face on model as best you can. Keep this stuff around you so the next time you have to draw like that character scared, even though you just drew them looking up this way scared, and in your comic you have them like some weird perspective where you got like the brow way up in your face and the nose shoots out, you got the nose down here like that, those weird shots, they're like looking up at you or something, but they're scared. There's certain things you can do in your gesture stage and in that character model sheet that'll help you remember that, because what you're looking for is actually making little differentiations in there. And Drew just said something perfect, which is another way too. It's more of when you have a group of characters, is making the silhouettes different from each character. And real quick, for those of you that don't know silhouettes, if I put Superman standing here, and Batman standing next to him, They look the same, right? Until you do this. Until you go, okay, now that guy's got that. And this, you might be able to see the S. We'll throw it there. But now these look different. Now, no matter what, you'll always know who's who. You could do the entire book just like this. And people will know that this guy is different from this guy. So that's more, I think, of a character. That's more of this right here, what we're doing with this guy. That's the character design kind of stuff, right? But hopefully I even remotely answered your question. I have about a dozen characters to design for an upcoming webcomic. I'll use that silhouette technique for sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely use that if you can. You guys don't normally see me do the silhouette action. I do it behind the scenes. So what I do is, like, real quick is, even when I'm finished a design, you should do it before, but, you know, this is just kind of like a stream of consciousness kind of designing here. I'll go over and just quickly grab, like, a lasso tool. Trying to go as quick as I possibly can. Fill it black. And then turn the other layers off. So that's what this guy's silhouette looks like. And what I'll do is I'll actually have him with a bunch of the other characters that I'm designing that I like and see, do they start to match? Is there too much happening? Because look at The Simpsons, for example, right? If you look at The Simpsons, right? All the faces are the same for the most part, right? Like, there's noses and all that, but it's this that makes them different. And as long as you nail some of this when you're drawing the characters over and over again, the more crazy you get with this, the more different of a character he looks. So, like, even with this guy, I could just go, oops, let's just make another layer here. So I'm going to start adding those spikes. I told you about that. Make it seem like a bad guy. And what a lot of people do is they actually just do this stage right here. And from here, they just start, they lower the opacity and then they start drawing figures in it. But now you can see it's the same character, right? It's still got the same feel to it, but now it's got some spike to it. Maybe this is like the next level of the armor or something like that, right? Maybe we're going to do this. We're going to put like a sword holster, something happening. But it's different. There's different things going on. Maybe, you know, they got the cape action. Or whatever the hell that is. So you guys can, I think you get the point. Okay, so I think what we'll do, Drew's saying the number one thing that stops comic artists from being great, self-doubt and waiting till they're, in air quotes here, ready. Newsflash, people, ready never comes. You're ready now. Just make some shit and I get where you're going with that. You're ready now. Just draw. Just make your books. And I agree. You're only going to get better by drawing. So waiting is, you know, waiting's tomorrow. You know, waiting's next week. You're going to get better. You know, the comics you do today are going to be as good as you can make them. You're going to have a headache. You're going to hate doing it. But a year from now, 2 months from now, a week from now, you're going to get better. You know? And your comics are going to get better. Feel free to, don't worry about the spam stuff. Feel free, Scribbles, to post your webcomic in the chat if you like. Get some more hits over to your site. Hopefully. All right, so if you guys got any more questions, feel free to just throw them in there. I can't believe, like, man, these hours just go by so fast. I might design another character here, or I might just draw this guy on my own. Maybe actually what I'll do here is I'm just going to take that guy. Maybe put him in an action pose. So I'll put him down here. Yeah, it was about there like that. Oh, it's a finished webcomic? Okay, so for those of you that are watching this on the YouTube version, you can check out her. Are you a lady or a man? His or her webcomic at togm.webcomic.ws. You guys can give that a shot and maybe something you like. So let's try to do like an action shot. What would a paladin? He's got some magic. I'm a lady. Okay, it's a she. All right, so what do we got here? Just feel some shapes. It's called the other gray meat. Okay, so that's what the TOGM is. The other gray meat. Awesome. What the hell? What are we gonna do here? I need an idea for a shot. We'll do the classic fantasy stuff. So we got him on a mountain. He's looking down into a valley. Looking down at all the rats. Got a Spider-Man pose. And this is where I'm kind of getting into giving these guys like actual pupils, because you can start showing some expression with just if it's black dots, you know, for their eyes. I don't know. I like the look of it. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you guys like? Here, I should probably give you some examples here. So, the question I'm asking is, do you think I should give characters eyes that like everybody knows, you know, like eyes? Or what I've been doing here is I'm adding like these little like dots. And I like the dots. The only question or the concern I have is that I don't feel like I can get the expression I want out of there. And I'm not sure because I haven't really done the test, to be honest, to see how that goes. For those, oops, let me turn that down. See if I can just show you guys some quick examples. For those of you that aren't familiar with this stuff here, so go to the old website. Oops, no, it's guildborn.com. Believe it's here. Okay, so oh, characters. Jeez, I don't even know how to navigate my own site. All right, so you got like characters like these that have like these little black dots. What I like from them is it just makes them look different. Makes it look like that, you know, kind of fun style. You know, you do get away with it with stuff like this, where it's covering his eyes, but the eyes don't really matter because, well, they do matter. That's the point of the question. What I'm saying is they don't matter in the case of the examples I'm showing here, because I guess I could replace it. But there's a style that happens in there that I don't know. I dig. My concern is I'm just wondering what you guys think. It's always good to get thoughts on what other people are thinking about this stuff. You know, get little guys like this walking around. It's kind of similar to what we're doing right now. I can't click on that guy. That's weird. But then this would be like the other direction where it's still the same thing, just the eyes are more what you, I guess, expect. Ian hates the dots. And actually, if there's anybody listening on YouTube, if you've made it this far, please leave a comment below. I get to see most of the comments. Let me know what you think. If you like the dots or if you like the big eyes. Ian saying why he hates them. I think the dots give them a singular facial expression. Okay. You're saying I like Gilborn, John. Thank you. There's not really anything that different or cool out there, in my opinion. Okay. Could you maybe have dots on one type of characters and then regularize in the others? Yeah, I've heard people suggest that, like putting it on the younger characters and then. Dots are limiting in expression, I feel. Kind of like a character with sunglasses on. You tell most about a character through their eyes. And that I agree with. I'm trying to think of where. I know at work, I work at a video game company, and a lot of the little bosses that I had designed, they have little black eyes like that. And I don't know if it was there that I got it from, or if it was from. Maybe it was just looking at Pokemon and stuff. Like, I don't know. No, and you guys, this is why I appreciate you guys speaking up to me here, because you guys are saying some important stuff here. Like, dots are limiting expression, I feel, kind of like a character with sunglasses. Yeah, you just said, sorry, I reread that. Why give yourself one less tool to work with? Cog saying, I do not like those eyes. I do think that you have a great imagination and will do well in your comic. Thanks, Cogs. Alright, so let's try drawing this character then. With some real eyes. Getting way cartoony now, eh? It'll be cool. Screw it. We're gonna give him. We're gonna design some. His eyebrows. Maybe we'll give him like a little hook on the end of them too. You guys already. You guys like this one already? Eh? All right. Well, the majority speaks. So this will be like a giant mountain he's on or something. Who knows? It's fantasy. They're always on mountains. Nobody knows why. There's stuff on mountains. So he's all the way up to the top. Maybe we can put some monsters coming after him around here. Nah, I don't know. It's readable. Okay, cool. Let's grab the red again, and what we're going to do is get the costume back on him. And to answer your question, I don't know if anybody in the chat's been some of the people that have been asking on Facebook. I know Will addressed somebody about it because people have been asking all the time, like, why do I use red instead of blue and stuff like that? Because what you'll see is usually my art might look like this, where it's got the red over top of it. The only reason is, like you just saw that, my roughs or my gestures and sketches, they go blue, and then my tight, and I'm doing this in air quotes again, tight lines I put in black. So the costume is in red, and then what I'll do is I'll go over it again in green, and that will be for shadow. So we'll get to that in one quick second here. So let me get some rough idea of what's going on with the costume here. He's got his necklace. Maybe we can get some movement going in it. So we got the bandages on that one. He's got the fur. We can get a pretty cool cape looking. Capes are always good. Go in there. Probably like a gauntlet or something on this side. Just to spice it up. And go there. All right, so that would basically be done there. Are you recording this for YouTube, John? I'm gonna have to rewatch this last week. Yeah. Besides you, Drew, has anybody else heard me cutting out and stuff? Just wondering. I think Google Hangouts should be better. It just seems like it flows nicer. I just have to spend some time finding, like, researching about it. So what I'm going to do is spend the rest of this week, what is it, Thursday and Friday, my lunch at work, just kind of going over, figuring this out. But yes, this will be posted on YouTube. I will be rendering it when we're done. If we're lucky, we'll get it up tonight. If not tonight, tomorrow for sure. And like I say, I always appreciate you guys just stopping in, man. You guys are the best. And lady, the one lady that I know is in the room. So we're going to make another layer here, and we're going to go over. And the green I like to use, I don't know why, it just looks kind of cool. It's a greenish blue, like a teal, but kind of more on the green side. And then I just start throwing in blobs of color, right? Get that brush nice and fat. Lately, I've been using a lot of this here, this Manga Studio 4 anyway, this brush pen with the dark. It's good for the sketchy stuff. I don't know if I would use it for final work, but it's pretty cool. Maybe we could have like a light source coming from underneath them. Like he's looking down into a fire pit or something. And I try to just go simple with this stuff. I don't want to go too nuts, because that's the whole point of inking. So that'd be about it. Maybe we can go down that way. Yeah, like that. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate all the love. Hey, I'll keep doing this if you guys keep helping me out. You guys are like killing it, giving me ideas and stuff like that. Okay, so the show is at an hour, so normally we're done. I think I just feel it. I feel the energy, man. It feels good. So I'm just gonna keep going until we finish this, and then we're gonna call it a day. But feel free if you guys have any questions. Again, anything else, just by all means, you guys know the drill. Post it in capitals, leave it in the chat, and I'll get to it. If it's just a generic art question, if it's you need help with something, all that cool stuff. But I want to say thank you guys and girls for stopping by. Always appreciate it. If you just just hopped in to the chat room right now, normally you'd miss it, but we're going to keep going, see what happens. But the show is every Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you showed up in the chat room right now, just look at your time. If you're in a different time zone, subtract an hour. That's when it starts. This Friday, follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I will be posting a link to the Google Hangouts if I can get it to work. If not, we will be back in LiveStream because I owe you guys a stream anyway. Because, well, I was sick last week. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Give me one quick second. Just going to post on Facebook and Twitter. Just let everybody know. Going in for another hour. Hopefully it's not an hour. Should we'll finish it before then. Alright, let's get... Also, for the people in the chat room, I'm going to open it up to you guys right now. I got a piece of paper beside me. I'm going to write down... please don't just bomb the chat with this. I'm not expecting you guys to, but for new topics you'd like to see addressed on the YouTube show, just put it in the chat. I'm going to make a list, and I'm going to try to tackle them if I can as I mix in with some stuff, because I feel like most of the videos I've been doing lately, not that I want to do tutorial videos. That's what this kind of stuff is for. I like doing this with you guys, but I prefer to just draw, talk over it. It's easier to do, right? But I got to go back to the community for this. So if you guys have any comments or questions or things you want to address, by all means, please put it in the chat room. I'll add it to the list here, and I'll try to get to it for the next video or two. Whoops, typing in the wrong thing. Alright, copy, pasty. So paste there, and we will paste here. Sorry guys for making you wait. One last thing, then we can get back to the drawl and the pictors. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Oh, Scrail. Okay, sorry. I was on Facebook, and you had added me on Facebook a couple weeks, or no, was it last week or something? I'm trying to remember some people, but I know who you are from Facebook and stuff. So, Banff is saying, when you are looking at a comic for the first time, can you and do you distinguish a style of the artist right away, or does it take you a few issues? When you're looking at a comic for the first time, can you and do you distinguish a style of the artist right away, or does it take you? Sorry, Michael, I'm kind of confused in the question. Okay, let's get to the drawing of the pictures. Alright, so we're going to make a new folder, dump all that crap in there. We're going to lower the opacity on her. And here we're going to start the inkies. Let's get our brush smaller. Oh man, you're asking the deep life meaning questions here. Okay, to answer, I guess, the bottom part, and with pinups, would you think it would be safe to show an amalgamation of styles in the illustration? Sure. So that's the beauty of comics. You can do whatever you want. I think the question you're asking, if you're referring to it in like a Marvel DC house style, that I can't give you an answer on. I'm not sure. Right? Because I'm assuming they have their own style that they want. However, it kind of goes into, Will and I were talking about this, about Guildborn actually. It's one of the concerns I had about doing this. You guys are familiar, most of you anyway, are familiar with the style that I normally draw in, like for the standard. And this is like a much more, I feel like it's kind of going back to the old animation days. It's cute stuff. It's not something that I normally do, right? So my biggest concern, like actually one of the biggest goals that I'm setting out for myself is to work for Marvel or DC in some fashion. And I just want to try it, see what happens. And just to say that I did, and maybe I'd like it, maybe I won't, I'm not sure. I will say that I do I get more enjoyment out of doing my own stuff, and I think that everybody is like that. Coming up with your own stories. For the majority of people, I think they dig that. Or working with a writer, not necessarily doing superhero stuff, right? But just doing, as people like to call them, indie comics, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I would say if you're working for a big studio, such as Marvel, DC, these guys, there is a style that they're going to want, and that's how you... Such a weird topic to talk about, because you look at, there's so many different people. There's Jim Lee, Tom McFarlane, Greg Capullo, Oliver Coipel, Olivier Coipel, I always say his name wrong, Ryan Otley. All those guys, they draw different, right? But they draw in their certain style. It looks very, it's got a cool style to it. So you got to find what you like to draw ultimately, I think. If you like to draw cartoony characters, you never know. Like, look at kind of like what we started this stream with. People were talking about Scotty Williams. Scotty Williams. Scotty Young. And sorry, just looking at the design for his website. Looking at his stuff, and like a lot of the cover work that he does, it's very, very different from what you normally see many people doing, right? So I don't like. I feel like I'm dancing around your question, brother. I don't know. I will say I feel like indie stuff, like what I'm doing right now, what you might be doing on your own, that stuff it's way more liberating because you're allowed to do those sorts of things. Oh, real quick, I'll wrap it around. So that's one of the concerns I had when I was doing this was because this work that I'm going to do this book in, this style, I can't show, not that I guess I couldn't, but I wouldn't want to show anybody from any editor from Marvel and DC outside of, hey, look at the work I did, right? But it's not, hey, this is how Spider-Man's going to look. It's different. So what I was getting concerned with was, well, what if I just do another project like this, like Jessup King, that character that I draw, or Squirrel God, that guy, where it's a more kind of traditional style of what I do, that way if they stumble upon that stuff, that's the. But after talking to Will and just talking to you guys, just talking to like people in my life about it, it's like, you know what? If you think about it, and I might be getting a little artsy fartsy on you guys here, so watch out. But like, that's the job of the artist. That's your job. That's my job, right? Is to draw whatever it is inside us that's telling us to draw what we want to draw and what we like, right? Whether it's stuff you grew up with when you were a kid, or if it's just draw cartoons, draw Disney characters. That's the project you want to do. Just do what you want to do. Nobody else is going to do what you do like you do. There's a lot of you do in there. And I'm a big sucker for saying this sort of thing, but the world we're living right now, for all the bad that's going on, the one good thing us artists have is that we have access to ways of making our own stuff viewable by people. We no longer have to be tied down to big publisher houses and stuff, right? You guys have heard that. I'm not the only cat saying that. So with all that kind of stuff going on, man, I'm really drifting on your. I mean, this is a good question. I'm just gonna leave now because I am all over the board with it. Hopefully, I answered your question, Michael. Also, Michael, your commission is still on the list. Longest commission ever. I feel like I'm always telling you something else, but at the end of March, first week in April, first couple days in April, the standard will be done. So you're number one on my priority list to get that to you. So, okay. Let me go up. A lot of people are saying some stuff. Dancing, when are you going to start taking donations? Hey, man, I appreciate that. Anytime anybody wants to throw money at me, that's great. I'd rather be able to give you guys something. I don't like just taking money, even though people are offering it. I have been looking in, since you guys brought it up. It's in my list of things to do. Is that one website, what the hell is it called again? Patron, something like that. And what it is basically you guys can donate money like you just suggested. So let's say you want to do $1, $1 a month, as long as I post videos, and that's what this site lets you do. And that way, I feel Patron. Thank you. That's exactly it. That's what I'm looking into because it seems pretty cool. And then I can also do like an extra video on there to say thanks to anybody that supports and throws money at me. Like, I mean, that's anybody that says they want to start throwing money at somebody, like, that's pretty cool. So, thank you for being cool. Oh man, a whole bunch of the chat just disappeared. Oh, it did disconnect? Damn. Oh, hey, Jason. Yeah, I don't. Oh, man, there's like a wall of text, and I think if you guys had a question, just repost it. I'll get back to it for you. Just got Manga Studio EX. Any tips and tricks? Just draw in it a lot. It's probably not what you wanted to hear, but draw as much as you can in that program. I know it took me a long while to even like it. I used Photoshop for a long time, just because I was comfortable with it. But make a file called Sketchbook. And anytime you want to sketch, just sit down and draw on that. And I think that's going to get you some serious steam going. I need to see how this helmet's going. Man, this helmet's going all over the place. Ian's asking, I think having different styles actually can make it easier to get work. It means that you can slot in as a fill-in artist for any book that might need it. Yeah, okay, and that I hear you, but I don't like that. I don't want to be a fill-in artist. I don't like that idea. I've heard somebody say something when I was younger that kind of scarred me in that direction, which could be wrong, but from what I hear, if you are a fill-in artist, it's very hard to get out of being a fill-in artist. Because they know if something happens, it's hard to find good fill-in artists. And if that's what you are, they're going to want you to stick around as that, right? And when I had heard that, like I say, it was a while ago, so I don't know if it's still the same. I can understand that thinking, so I don't think it's gone. I think it's probably still there. All right, let's get this other side of his helmet on, then we can get that cool cape going. Ian saying, yeah, but you don't want to work for just one book, right? So imagine doing a couple of big boy issues for the money so that you can... That is obviously one way of looking at it. Yeah, you could go there, get all the money you can in GTFO. The other way to look at it too is maybe do some solid work, the best you can at these companies, and that way you can have a fan base from that, so that when you go to do your own stories, you can kind of carry them along with you. So there, I hear you. There's an argument for both. Oh, hey, Will, what's that? Why are you not doing the standard? Well, believe it or not, I was taking a break for the stream, and it was going so good that now we're going past the hour, and I just wanted to get this finished. Drew, John, I think you should end every stream with critting other people's work or people on here who are bold enough to post their site. Oh. Okay, sure. I can crit your stuff. Okay, so before, this is usually the routine. This is how we do this. So it covers my ass. Um, what are you looking to get out of this critique? Are you just trying to show me your stuff? Are you trying to, you just want me to rip at an asshole? What do you want? Most people say rip at an asshole. What the? Rip it. I don't care. All right. There you go. Okay, so this is Drew Elby's work. Let's do it, guys. Let's go in there. Before gangster was gangster. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, Drew. First thing I'll say, regardless of quality or anything like that, is at least here, and I'm just going through this. If you look at these, a lot of your pages, they all have it. They're all drawn in the exact same proportion. Everybody's faces are a certain size, and usually that comes from when people are drawing. Again, I don't know how long you've been drawing. But you look at her face, him. You're like, this is an exception for sure. This is probably the most dynamic picture you got on here. But even this guy, this guy, this guy, those don't really count. Her to a degree, but it's all like the same body shot. You have some dynamic stuff going on here where you have like a foreshortened hand. But it's all like, okay, here's a piece of paper, draw on that paper kind of thing. And if they're just character designs, hey, do what you got to do. Let's check out. Let's go to the right here, the portfolio. Oh boy, the pressure's on. Coming soon. I love it. Okay, so your gallery is on here. Let's just go back. Was gangster before gangster? I don't know why, but that's. Oh, keep scrolling. Oops. Sorry. He's got a sketch vlog. Check it out. What is this? Drew Elby sketch vlog. All right, so see, even look at this kind of thing here. At least you got the rule of thirds down. His head's probably exactly where it should be. That's right on. But like, he's still the same spot. There's no, he's still. What's going on here? Check out the gallery. Okay, I'll check that in a second. Older posts. If you can see again, he's still just there. See, like, you look at something like this right away, and it's different than the other ones, right? This one, it's much more dynamic, zoomed in. It's just a different feeling that you get than looking at the other ones where it's kind of repetitive in a way. Here we go, some pages. There's a lot I like with this page. There's some other stuff, but whatever. We're not going to get into that. All right, let's go up to the gallery like you said. I love everything about this guy at the bottom here. All right, we're going to DeviantArt. Boobies. Okay, well, art quality aside, not saying that there isn't, just not talking about that right now. Keep doing what you're doing because there's a lot of creative stuff going on. Anytime I see people drawing Street Fighter characters, it's usually a good thing. Drawing Earthworm Jim, so I feel like your influence is what you like is cool. It's kind of up my alley, so I dig all that stuff. Stuff like this right here. You got like this guy with this like robot or this arm. It's pretty cool. Oh, I forgot all about Kaboom. Oh man, Iron and the Maiden. Yep. Yeah, man. No, like our style or our preferences are pretty sweet up there. The only thing outside of this, I'm not gonna spend too much time. Like I say, vary your shots a bit. Get a little bit more creative. Oh man, hell yeah, doing some steampunk. That was a great comic. You start doing stuff like this. That's really cool. It's more dynamic. Then down here, you look like you're doing some stuff from Ray. Trying a little bit of his experiment out. Corey Lewis. Shark Knife, hell yeah. Keep looking at guys like this. I think they'll show you some really sweet stuff. What I would recommend, and this will be that, what I would recommend doing, because it doesn't seem like there's a big growth in that area, is start doing the boring things. Start reading anatomy. Go back, learn your anatomy. That's not to say you don't know anatomy or anything, but just spend some more time working on it. That way you can start feeling more confident in varying your shots. But yeah, no, great stuff, man. Good old animation school. All right, man. I'll be heading over to your stream after, Jason. Yep, all this hopefully should be on YouTube. All I was saying was, here, I'll do this real quick for you. So when you're drawing your pages, at least a lot of the pages that were up there, it looks like this is happening. Whoa, that's massive. So here's your page, and your character would always be like here. So you'd have a head, and something would happen, and you'd have like maybe he's shooting, right? And then the next page you would have maybe it's Wolverine. His claws. But what's happening is they're all just in these pages, right? As opposed to the few pages I did see where they broke that, it popped right away. So like this guy's shooting, like this is all going to happen once you get your anatomy down and get a little bit more confidence. I think with that stuff where you have the guy shooting off screen and maybe a leg's up in the foreground, and then with Wolverine, it's Wolverine. Most people draw the same style Wolverine or whatever, but even doing something where like this you've seen to death. You got his clop in the foreground, that kind of thing. But they're just different to look at. If that makes sense, like you should be able to see a clear difference between the two of these. They are different. This stuff down here, the bottom stuff, there's nothing wrong with it. I would save it for like concept designs and stuff like that. Just things you need to get out of your head. The other ones are like when you have portfolio or even in your gallery, start showcasing some of that stuff. Like, get dynamic with it. Even if you don't like Jack Kirby, look at his stuff. Even if you don't want to do superhero comics, look at Jack Kirby. Look at a lot of manga. I highly recommend looking at manga just because of how dynamic they get. Look at animation. Look at stuff that you probably normally wouldn't look at. Yeah, basically. I guess that could have been it. Just vary your camera angles. Wow. Thank you for being so wise. I wasted all that time trying to trying to say camera angles. But like the next, try this experiment. This works for me. Some well, not all the time, but some of the time. Like even when we were doing this, and I'm not saying this is a great success, but next time you draw a character, whatever character it is, even if it's your own character, try to think. Try to tell a story with it. Try to give a reason for it instead of just going, this is, we'll just use Wolverine because we're still talking about him. Instead of just drawing like, okay, this is Wolverine and he's got his claws, tell a story with it. Maybe he just got done a big fight. Maybe he's getting ready for a fight. You know, that kind of thought process. I find when I think like that, when doing my stuff, it makes it easier because you're taking a lot of the guesswork out of it. You're not saving it for when you get to it anymore. You're right in there. Ian saying, Jonathan, I don't have much to contribute for critique, but I do have a drawing of a stripper potato. If yes, please share. Share a stripper potato. And it sounds as cool as that. Has to be seen. Nasty, dirty spuds. Alright, so this thing's almost done. I don't want to spend too long on this. Too long. And Robson Inc. is saying, I recommend everyone go and look at old school comic artists. These are the guys who inspired your faves. John Buscema, Jack Kirby, Gil Kane, Steve Ditko. You should know all these guys. And John Byrne. Yep, I agree with all that. The only caveat I would add to that is don't forget to look at the stuff that got you jazzed when you were a kid. There's a magic in there that you know, if you're like me and you like Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers and RoboCop and Terminator and all these things, like you're not really gonna learn too much probably art-wise from that stuff, but what you might get out of it is like like an energy, something that you trapped when you were younger. That's been sitting there dormant, waiting. Alright, so here we got a layer going. I'm just adding one quick contour line layer. Basically, that's just to make him pop. A lot of people do this kind of stage while they draw, worrying about your line weights and stuff. Still not too comfortable doing that. Like you guys can see the green underneath, that's where the shadow and the light will be. But I'm still not comfortable drawing this stuff as I ink. So, stuck working it like this. Oops. Okay, so now that's done, the last step that I do is I just make a new layer for my inks. And since I already have all that work done where they are, I just kind of start carving out shapes. And you guys will see that. Alright, so his nose is casting a shadow above him. So I'm just going to carve out, put a little X, that should be. Trying to think about where the light is hitting. Just going to throw a little bit of rendering up there. And his cheeky poos are going to be all inked up. We'll throw some black lines up here. It might look like mascara. We'll see. And his helmet's going to have a cast shadow there. Yeah, I don't like that. Oh, Drew's talking my language here. Corey Lewis, Becky Clunan. Fuck yeah. Who else joins up here? Lacine Thomas. Those are all guys I'm getting into. It's like Will's bringing up awesome people. Definitely check out old school artists, the superhero stuff. I still love looking at that. Personally, right now, what I'm really getting into is looking at like people that, in my opinion, have more style. And I don't mean that as like a slander or anything. Saying people like Kirby or Byrne or who else did you? George Perez. I'm not saying they don't have style. They have style. It's just a different kind of style. You know, you look at a perfect example is Corey Lewis. I've been following his stuff honestly since I found the internet. Way back on a website, a forum called Eat Poo. I've always been in love with his work. It's just been recently now that I've been able to buy some of it. Like Shark Knife was, you know, I'm not going to slam the guy for not writing the greatest comic ever, but it has so much heart and energy in it that it's hard to not like it. Personally, for myself, and it's stuff like that that just gets me energized. Seeing people doing things like that, where kind of goes back to the argument I was talking about. We were all talking about in the beginning of working for the big companies, and I find that we keep going in circles. Everybody, usually every stream, we start, I don't want to say slamming the big two and stuff like that because they have some really cool stuff. It's fun, you know. They do some fun stuff, but none of it to me is as fun or as cool as seeing like a lot of these independent people working on their stuff. Like it's fresh. And I think it was 2 or 3 years ago I really started to get into manga. And when I say really get into it, I mean buying Dragon Ball Z. Finally seeing what that was about. Watched the show, but the comics are so much better. And getting into like things like Gone and just getting like the manga I think noobs like myself get into, you know, checking out Bleach, all that stuff. But there's something there that sparked an interest in me that I haven't had in a long time, which is not that I want to draw manga or anything like that, but it's just like, see, this is what I love about just comics is that there's all these really cool books out there that, you know, don't get, I guess, Western mainstream attention. Because it is about some stupid school kids, and then they turn into something, or it's demons, or he's fighting demons. And I agree to that in some degree, but it's just refreshing to see stuff like again like Shark Knife. I'll say that all the time because I think everybody should read it, even if you don't like it. It's cool, you know. There's some, especially if you like that kind of flavor. But I feel like I'm going in circles here. It always sounds like I'm bash stuff. What's that, Robin? Robson. John, how should I draw the Dawn's feet? I haven't seen it done yet. I just draw them like you'd normally, like Spider-Man feet. Except just remember everything of the dawn. Oh, you're right. Here, let me just pull up a picture. Sorry, I got him confused with what's it called? The corpse. All right, so that's his feet. They just look like witches' feet or something. They're just toes with disgusting toenails on it. What's up, Lilac? That's the way she goes, boys. That's the way she goes. All right, close you. Back to this. John, with your current works, are you getting anything on the back end or a piece of property, or does everything strictly work for hire? Everything's work for hire. Back when I was back when I was first getting into drawing, it was I would do anything to work. Let your imaginations run wild, cats. But as time went on, it was just like, I need to make money at this stuff, so I can no longer do this back end pay stuff. I'm not a big fan of it. Some people, they do work it. Do what you got to do. Just do what's best for you. Personally, I figure I just need to. Well, it's a lot of time, right? So I should just get paid for it. Because if I'm not getting paid for it, then I can just do my own stuff, right? Like, you don't need, in today's age, you don't need anybody to do comics anymore, right? Like, you can look anywhere online. You can just do a Google search. Might take you a little while, but you can find it. Like professional Marvel DC scripts and just draw those to get better, right? You can do your own books. You can do anything. The only thing you lose out on, and this is one thing that I will say is a really cool benefit for working with other people, is like, let's say for the standard, John, the writer, he's an excellent guy to work for. Class act. He's a very, very awesome guy. Whole team is really good. Now that we got Will in there as well, you know, even more talent, quality, all the good stuff. But John, in the background, he can market. He can do stuff while I draw it. You know what I'm saying? So there is benefits to teamwork, and you really start to see it once you're in a team. Okay, so you guys saw me blacking out all these, carving out these shapes. Now all I'm doing is I'm just going in there and filling them in with the old paint bucket tool. And then what I'll do after this is just kind of tighten some of it up, because it doesn't always get all the areas you'd like. Let me just grab the old lasso tool here for the hair. Feel like there's not enough light here still. We didn't do any of the top. Thanks, Drew. I'm trying to wrap this up here so we don't have to spend the whole night here with you guys. Because you guys are just hurry up and finish, God. This guy's taking forever. Just put some more. These don't even really look like eyebrows anymore. Look like part of the suit. Okay, speed it up, speed it up, speed it up. Oh, sorry, Ian. I didn't even see that. Lilak is asking, John, are you getting faster spotting your blacks? It did seem that was a slower point in process. I feel like I am, yeah. Especially with working with that green layer, like I showed you guys, just building up the value faster that way, and then just filling it in. Some of it I still don't like. It's all a learning process. It's funny. I still feel that working with a pencil, I still get a more desired effect of how my stuff will look. But it is a step in the right direction right now, anyway. I find with digital, a lot of opinions change pretty quick. Like what works today, I might watch a video and then all of a sudden something else is like, oh, that's real cool, I gotta try that. Some real quick rendering here. Or feathering, just to break these blacks up. Larry's saying, after your recommendation this past summer, I bought the Cintiq 13 HD. Oh, awesome. How is that? I think Will was talking about maybe getting that. Alright, I think we're done here. Oh, now I'm getting too crazy in there. Alright, we gotta add what I always add. Debris falling. And maybe one last thing to wrap it up. Maybe we can... I always like doing this thing here where, how do we do this? Gotta carve the shapes out. So we got this triangle shape. Let's do some stalagmites. Oh, whoa, whoa, don't want to clear that. up over here. Filler in black. And when we look at it, it's kind of like this. Give it a little more of like a scene, you know? What the hell happened here? What the hell? Alright, I guess we're going back to lasso tool. This is funny. I find if I zoom out and I do the lasso tool and I zoom back in, I will get a this kind of effect where it's like it's all like wiggly and stuff. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but anyway, I think we're pretty much done. If I don't leave now, I'm just gonna keep noodling away at this. Add one more line to it. So let's see something. Not sure how I feel about it, but it's all part of the sketchbook. So I'll post this on Facebook and Twitter so you guys can see it a little bit better. As soon as I hit stop, let's just do a little signature action and wrap her up. 2014 Guild Born. Here, let's do something artsy fartsy. Oops. Guildborn over here. Pen tool. Nope, brush. .com. Ooh, aren't we fancy? Okay, well, thank you guys once again for sticking around. 2-hour extravaganza. I will post, like I said, twice so far on Facebook and Twitter on Friday to let you guys know. Hopefully, we can get a Google Hangout going. If Google doesn't work, we'll jump back into LiveStream. Hopefully, we'll just get this all going fun. The other reason I wanted to bring up Google, because some of you guys had said, and I've just gotten into the Google stuff, but you can, for those of you that use Google Cal, I think it's kind of cool. You can set up notifications. So if you guys wanted to join, you can click notify me, that kind of thing. I think it's really cool. But anyway, enough rambling. Thank you guys once again so much for watching. Really appreciate all the support, all the love you guys have been throwing in the chat. Honestly, guys, as much as sitting down and drawing is work, you guys make it just that much more fun. So honestly, really appreciate it. So until next Wednesday or this Friday, keep reading comics, keep making comics, and we'll talk to you soon.